Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. Teacher Origin looked conflicted. You want to know the reasons why I was suppressed? Both Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader listened carefully. When I first rose before, said Teacher Origin slowly, no one from the first or second universe eras was my match. I roamed universe ocean and had no rival. However, I was wary of the two holy lands. Although I was invincible, I wasn't confident to say that I could match the two ancestors of the two holy lands. I've been wondering why the ancestors of the two holy lands never came out. Even if they have transcended incarnations and are indeed unrivaled, they wouldn't just confine themselves to the holy lands forever. Unless they couldn't get out. I have speculated that transcending incarnations is a conspiracy. A conspiracy. Both Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader were startled. I speculated before that this was the conspiracy of the original universe, said Teacher Origin. However, after being suppressed, I came across the supreme laws, and that was when I realized that I was wrong. Dead wrong. Supreme laws are what control all the operations in universe ocean. The original mind only controls everything in the original universe. It can't force anyone to transcend incarnations, as it doesn't have the authority to do so. Primal Chaos City leader frowned. But, teacher, once someone reaches the void space level, they must transcend incarnations within a very short period of time. Yes, said Teacher Origin. That's the restriction of supreme laws. Only supreme laws can give orders to true gods and above. I've been suppressed for a long time, and now, I finally understand it. The original mind is unable to force anyone to go anywhere. Otherwise, it could have forced Yuan Ao Master, Zhenjiao Emperor, and the others to go somewhere in the lands of extremis instead of going through so much. Luo Feng nodded. He had talked with Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest before, and he knew that there was no need to be afraid of the original mind, as it couldn't do anything to true gods, as long as they didn't break any supreme laws. The reason why I was suppressed, said Teacher Origin, is that I disobeyed the supreme laws, and the original mind suppressed me. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to do so. How did you disobey them? Both Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader were curious. Teacher Origin smiled. I was careful of the original mind before, and I suspected that the original mind was behind it all. I tried everything to search for it, but the deeper that I dug, the more I realize that the original mind isn't wise, it only has some basic wisdom. It must be a very weak mind bred by the origin of the original universe. Weak? Both Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader were shocked. Yes. Teacher Origin nodded. The original mind itself is fragile. It only has endless power, because of the origin of the original universe. I didn't want to transcend incarnations before because I was afraid I would be bound forever. I came up with a plan. I would destroy the original mind so that my own mind could become the original mind of the original universe. What? Both Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader were shocked. Soul transfer. Was he talking about soul transfer? Luo Feng had speculated from past experiences that the original mind itself didn't have any power. That was why it had needed others to kill Yuan Ao Master. It also relied on the ancestral god school to do much of its bidding. In fact, Luo Feng had also considered the possibility of seizing control of the authority of the original universe. But it was only a thought. After all, Luo Feng couldn't think of any viable methods for doing so. That's why I created the virtual universe, Teacher Origin said with a smile. My virtual universe and the real universe are like two sides of the same body. They perfectly match each other. I myself am a life form in the original universe, so the original universe doesn't resist me. When my mind is spread everywhere in the original universe with the help of the virtual universe, it starts to clash with the original mind. Both Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader were stunned. The virtual universe had been created to rob the soul of the original universe. But I was wrong. Teacher Origin sighed. I was too naive. I speculated based on my own estimation, but I was dead wrong. I wanted to seize control of the original universe, which goes against the supreme laws. That was why the supreme laws punished me. I lost, and that's why I was suppressed. The supreme laws punished me. That's how I encountered more supreme laws and why I understand more about them. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader went quiet. Teacher Origin was really in opposition against the original mind, and he suspected that the original mind was the ultimate conspirer behind everything. He had seen through the weaknesses of the original mind. He had then created the virtual universe in order to seize control over the original universe. And he had almost succeeded. No wonder the original mind wasn't willing to let Teacher Origin go. Primal Chaos City leader exclaimed. It had to wait until Luo Feng solved the crisis of the sector beasts to release Teacher Origin. Luo Feng was thinking. The sector beasts represented destruction, while the original universe represented life, and they were completely opposite to each other. Each side would be treated fairly by the supreme laws, no matter which side won. Apparently, the supreme laws were unbiased between the two sides. If the sector beasts won, they would destroy everything. If the original universe won, Luo Feng, as the greatest contributor, would be rewarded as well. But it's unfair, Luo Feng thought. The king of the sector beasts is at void space level, yet nobody forces it to transcend incarnations. However, we have to transcend incarnations after becoming true gods of void space. That's right. The king of sector beasts represents the opposite force to the original universe, and they are at the most supreme level. We, as life forms bred in the original universe, are inferior, and we're subject to more restrictions. The top beings in Universe Ocean were the original universe and the king of the sector beasts. As for the life forms bred by the original universe, even Luo Feng, whose life gene level had reached 100,000 times, who'd had all the life forms salute him, they were all inferior to the original universe and the king of the sector beasts. This made Luo Feng very pleased, as he had successfully enslaved the king of the sector beasts. After the crisis of the sector beasts, Universe Ocean was peaceful again. All the miniature universes of the first universe era and second universe era had been destroyed. Skeleton Master had turned to the side of the sector beasts, but his miniature universe was still there, as Morosa was still alive. So as not to let anyone else know about the king of the sector beasts, Morosa killed Skeleton Master with one thought right after becoming king, and his miniature universe was destroyed as well. Time went by quickly, and tens of thousands of eras passed. The membrane of the world of Jinn will turn white every era. A new universe master of the demon race, Renyu Master, drove a palace and flew toward the world of Jinn. It usually took a long time for a great being to go to the world of Jinn. Renyu Master looked at the surrounding space in shock. Am I lost? Renyu Master speculated that he had come to the wrong place, but after checking the map of Universe Ocean and his coordinates. This was where the world of Jinn used to be before, said Renyu Master. That giant object disappeared. The whole world of Jinn disappeared. Renyu Master was stupefied. The news spread across the original universe like wildfire. All the great beings quickly learned that the world of Jinn had disappeared. After only half a day, Luo Feng arrived at where world of Jinn had been. Where is it? Luo Feng, with his silver wings, stood in the chaos air. He was looking off into the distance. A long time ago, the giant body, which had seemed to belong to the godly king of Jinn, had been right there. Luo Feng started to teleport and search. It wasn't just Luo Feng. Great beings of other races were also searching. However, they couldn't find the world of Jinn no matter how hard they tried. Apparently, during the past tens of thousands of eras, the world of Jinn had left without notifying anyone. Nobody had found out, because no great beings had been there in such a long time, not until Renyu Master decided to go there to train. My godly powered avatar is still inside the world of Jinn, Luo Feng was thinking, frowning as he stood there in space. Deep in Universe Ocean, an enormous object flew at high speed. Inside its body, inside the world of Jinn, on an island of the Python River Army of the East Army, Luo Feng's godly power avatar was staying there. An era before, after his original body learned that the world of Jin had disappeared, that godly powered avatar had learned that he was no longer in the same region of universe ocean. Instead, it had traveled to a strange place. Where am I in the world of Jin? After an era, the universe membrane finally turned white. Driving a spaceship, Luo Feng's godly powered avatar rushed out of the universe membrane. He was very curious about this deeper area of universe ocean. He wanted to get out of the world of Jin and away from the giant object to see where he was. He rushed out of the miniature universe of the world of Jin. This is, Luo Feng's godly power avatar was looking around outside in the spaceship. Endless flames swept across him. The true god-level spaceship was immediately annihilated, and so was Luo Feng's godly powered avatar. Inside Milky Way Holy Land of the original universe, Luo Feng was admonishing his son Luo Hai. "I've told you before that I can't help you," he said. "If you don't go comprehend by yourself, nobody can help you. You're indeed less talented, but there's nothing absolute in universe ocean. Everything has a chance." "Huh? Father?" asked Luo Hai. Frowning, Luo Feng looked out into space, as if he could see through all that distance. He whispered, "Immediately annihilated. Fortunately, I converted almost all my military credits into valuables while fighting the sector beasts last time." Though he had no idea where the world of Jin was, it was apparently still safe and sound. And all the creatures living inside the world of Jin were still safe and alive. To deal with the crisis of the sector beasts, world of Jin came, Luo Feng thought. The world of Jin. The origin. These two are how the original universe survived. Now, the crisis of sector beasts is over, so the world of Jin left silently. Luo Feng could understand why. The ancient civilization had lived in the world of Jin, after all, and those who lived there were descendants of the ancient civilization. If world of Jin remained here, the life forms from later universe eras would easily gain the inheritance from the ancient civilization. But apparently, nothing like that would now happen. When will I see the world of Jin again? Luo Feng wondered. Time passed. It was a period of peace, and more than 6 trillion eras had gone by silently. Inside Luo Feng's miniature universe, there was a blue sky and white clouds. Flying beasts and animals were everywhere. There were rolling hills with water flowing down from the hilltops. A white-caped man sat on a mountain. It was Luo Feng. A simple, but giant guard stood beside him. The guard looked into the distance. A teenager was teleporting toward him from several light years away. The silver-haired teen showed up on the mountainside. He then stepped on the space and went to the peak of the mountain. The silver-haired teen said, "Father God. Shimo, what's been happening lately?" Luo Feng looked lovingly at the silver-haired teenager. Shimo was exceptional. Luo Feng cared for him almost as much as he cared for his own son. Shimo was one of the first life forms that Luo Feng created, so he was technically Luo Feng's own son. Luo Feng had created many races, and he had combined them with remote ocean. More than 10 billion eras after the crisis of the sector beasts, the first true god had been born from the remote ocean line, and it had been Shimo. There were 9 different powers in the human race, and each power had lots of true gods. The 3 powers that were the strongest were the Virtual Universe Company, the Huge Axe Dojo, and Milky Way Kingdom. Milky Way Kingdom centered around the Earthlings, the remote ocean line, and the many other great beings who had joined. Luo Feng was the supreme leader of the kingdom. But that was only on the surface. In reality, Milky Way Kingdom was mainly led by Shimo. To Luo Feng, the entire human race was influenced by him, so there was no need for him to have any separated powers. Shimo had once told him, "Father God, the Earthlings and the remote ocean line don't have enough say in the senior meetings in the human race." And so, with Luo Feng's permission, Milky Way Kingdom had been established. Luo Feng knew that the Earthlings had been created by Sitting Mountain Guest, and from them, many talents had been born. They were destined to be a powerful line. As for the remote ocean line, It was a race he had created while attempting to pursue the perfection of the life structure. Each had its own advantages. They also had great potential. Both lines were powerful, yet they didn't have enough say, so many great beings were discontent. However, the true gods on Luo Feng's side were limited to Luo Feng, Hong, and Fire Dom. Luo Feng was too superior and aloof, Hong was too detached from the power, and as for Fire Dome, he was neither an earthling nor from the remote ocean line, so he wasn't influential enough. After Shimo had become a true god, many universe masters had gathered under him, treating him as their leader. Everything went smoothly. Representing Luo Feng, they had established Milky Way Kingdom, so they could have a great say, thus improving their status in the human race. They had to fight for it. The humans were far too powerful now. After more than 6 trillion eras, there were 98 true gods in the human race and 1,222 universe masters. The humans were fighting for various resources, as well as authority. Father God, said Shimo respectfully. Another person became a universe master in Milky Way Kingdom. Luo Feng nodded. He didn't care much about someone becoming a universe master. Brother Na-ku has been improving very quickly, said Shimo. If given enough time, he'll become a universe master. Na-ku had been the leading teenager in Blood River World when he had still been weak. Luo Feng was a superior being within the human race now, but he still paid attention to the development of Blood River World, including the growth of Na-ku. He had even helped him 3 times in secret, though Na-ku hadn't noticed. In Luo Feng's mind, if Na-ku couldn't become an emperor on his own, there was no need to guide him. Only if he could become an emperor would he be valuable. Although Luo Feng had helped him 3 times in secret before, Na-ku was mainly on his own. He had been through a lot, and after billions of years, he had finally become an emperor. When Na-ku had become an emperor, Luo Feng had traveled to Blood River World in the flesh, and had admitted him as his disciple. Luo Feng would provide him with guidance once in a while Shimo was responsible for most of the job. Although Na-ku has reached the limit of universe nights, Shimo said, shaking his head, he might not have enough time to become a universe master in this universe era. Huh? Luo Feng frowned. It's time. In accordance with your order, I've been keeping my eyes on the original universe, said Shimo respectfully. Now, everything that's happening in the original universe means that the original universe has reached the end. Soon, it'll be destroyed. Everything. Luo Feng looked at Shimo. Shimo nodded. In many star domains, lots of stars have been destroyed. It's normal for a star to meet its end, but it has never before happened on such a large scale. Besides, the probability of a talent being born is declining. Shimo had outlined every situation. Finally, it's going to be destroyed. Luo Feng suddenly stood up. He'd been waiting for this for a long time. He had reached the level of a top-tier, true god of void space, while fighting the sector beasts. He had been able to create top-tier level 12 techniques before. After more than 6 trillion eras, he'd been talking with Morosa a lot, and Morosa kept showing him the destruction origin, allowing him to comprehend it. Luo Feng had made quite a few improvements. However, he couldn't compare to Morosa. He was already at the level of limit true gods of void space. Yet Morosa advanced so quickly that Luo Feng was jealous. It had already been as powerful as a true god of void space when it first entered its growth period, and now, after more than 6 trillion eras, Morosa had reached the level of an eternal true god. Master, said the guard standing to the side, also excited. Luo Feng took a look at the guard. The guard was Morosa. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Luo Feng smiled. Father God. Shimo was dazed. Little did he know was that the original mind had made a promise to Luo Feng. A promise that he could comprehend the destruction of the original universe. It was a supreme opportunity. However, I need to go to one place beforehand. Luo Feng looked out into space. You don't need to follow. Luo Feng took a step and disappeared. Shimo and that guard gave each other a look. In a silent, deserted star domain where no life forms could be born, Luo Feng appeared. "It's been a long time," whispered Luo Feng. He had been nothing but a bewildered brat from Earth when he'd entered the universe before. Now, Sitting Mountain Guest had been of great help to him in reaching this level. "What does Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest want from me?" said Luo Feng. "I thought Teacher would come and find me after the crisis of the sector beasts, but he never did. I wasn't in a rush, so I keep waiting, yet Teacher never called me." Luo Feng touched the space, as he could sense that there were dimming ripples in the space. The second he entered the original universe, he understood that the original universe had entered the final stage. It would be destroyed after a short while. After he had comprehended the destruction, he wouldn't suppress his power anymore. Instead, he would go and make a breakthrough to the level of a true god of void space. Then he would go transcend incarnation. However, Sitting Mountain Guest had never instructed him on what to do, or what he wanted. Luo Feng was willing to do anything for Sitting Mountain Guest, even if it meant risking his own life. Luo Feng stepped through space and arrived in front of a palace. There was a giant fountain in front of the palace, and there were fish swimming in the pond. An elder stood beside the pond, gazing at it all, looking very relaxed. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at the pond and said, "Here you come." "Yes, I have arrived now." Luo Feng walked toward him. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled and took a glance at him. "I've been wondering who had the greater patience between the two of us. As it turns out, I'm the more patient one." Luo Feng smiled. It had nothing to do with patience. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest had devoted so much energy to him, and he gave him a valuable like star tower. He had even been willing to sacrifice his own miniature universe to protect Luo Feng's miniature universe during the crisis of the sector beasts. It all showed how much Sitting Mountain Guest valued Luo Feng. How could Sitting Mountain Guest say that this was only about patience, like a child? "Teacher," said Luo Feng. He couldn't help but ask. "This universe era of the original universe is about to end. After I comprehend the whole process of destruction of the original universe, I won't suppress my power anymore. I'll go make a breakthrough and transcend incarnation. Teacher, if you want me to do anything for you, please just tell me now." "Ha ha ha." Sitting Mountain Guest laughed. "No need to rush things. There's still no need to rush." Luo Feng was dazed. Sitting Mountain Guest turned his hand, and a golden crystal appeared on his palm. He looked at the golden crystal for a long time, before giving it to Luo Feng. "What is this, teacher?" Luo Feng took a look at the golden crystal. It did not appear to be valuable. "Take it," said Sitting Mountain Guest. "There's a virtual consciousness in it." "A virtual consciousness?" Luo Feng was confused. Though the last generation of Duandong River was dead, it had left a virtual consciousness to select its inheritors. The godly king of Jin had also left a virtual consciousness behind before he died. That virtual consciousness had all the memories of his original body, but it didn't have any combat power. It was only an artificial intelligence, a machine with many memories. "That's my virtual consciousness," said Sitting Mountain Guest. "I've told you that there's something I can't say out loud. I can't do it under the supreme laws." Luo Feng was dumbfounded. "When you're transcending incarnation," Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. "When you're transcending incarnation, you won't be restricted by supreme laws, and that is when my virtual consciousness can tell you everything. When you're transcending incarnation, bring out that golden crystal. My virtual consciousness will appear, and you'll learn everything." Luo Feng nodded, though he was pondering Sitting Mountain Guest meant. No wonder Sitting Mountain Guest wasn't in a rush. He could only tell Luo Feng everything while he was transcending incarnation. "Go," said Sitting Mountain Guest. "Prepare yourself. The original universe is the most perfect and vast universe. Its destruction contains endless mysteries. It'll benefit you in a way you can't even imagine. Comprehend it carefully. After that, you can go transcend incarnation. Don't be afraid of incarnation transcendence. It's not a trap. Instead, it's a good thing. Luo Feng was dazed. He bowed to show his gratefulness, then left. This video will end here.